Welcome back to the InboundREM YouTube channel. Happy 2025. This is the first video for us this year, and we're super excited to be talking about switching from buyers to sellers lead generation strategy, the number one subject that people are talking to me about when they call into me. And the number one question that they ask as they're having their consultations and their calls is, oh my God, Robert, how do we go from our buyers strategies into only focusing on sellers leads? So that's what the subject of this video is, how you can do that, how you can take existing strategies and literally retool them, discontinue them so that you can focus on sellers. All right, so listed on the board is a number of good ways to focus on seller leads. And I'm going to kind of rate, compare, and contrast them for you so that you can get an understanding of which of these might be possible for you in your current strategies. If, however, during the course of this video, you do not see or I raise more questions than I answer, then do us both a favor and just click the calendar link that'll be in the description of the video and schedule a call with me. And I'll be happy to try to answer myself, okay? All right, so number one, lead magnets. All right, a lead magnet is commonly referred to as a landing page. The most common seller lead strategy with lead magnets attached is, how much is my home worth? You all remember that strategy. I know you do. It is so common and so prevalent. There are so many companies out there that basically target like advertising, how much is my home worth in Arizona? How much is my home worth by location? How much is my home worth in zip code? There's so many different ways, but almost all of them involve doing advertising. Like I'm going to advertise someplace and use my zip code, the name of my city, and say, how much is my home worth here? And then direct people to a landing page, also known as a lead magnet. And on that page, there will be information talking about the value of the home, usually with an auto-generated home evaluation tool. So you put in your address, so you capture their name and number, and then they get ostensibly what their home is worth. That's the strategy. Most of the people employing this strategy have used bad lead magnets. In other words, there are massive amounts of people that have used a lead magnet that doesn't connect to any kind of automated function on the back end. Why? Because these automated functions charge you a healthy amount of money to generate the value for the client. So many realtors have done advertising campaigns to lead forms that say, give me your information. They give me information, and then what the lead form says is, and now I'll call you back. I'll give you an estimate. I'll set an appointment with you. And people hate that shit. They don't take your call, okay? And on top of it all, many times realtors don't even bother to reach out once they have the lead for whatever reason. Meaning that while this has been the traditional way for people to get leads in the sellers category, my experience with it has been it's wildly ineffective unless combined with a really robust content marketing campaign. Which leads us very simply into step two, content strategies. This is some of what InboundREM employs. Content strategies are the thing about getting people's like in front of people that are thinking of selling their home or prepping their home to be sold. It's a pretty consistent metric of how are we going to increase the value of our home? How are we going to make sure that our home presents the best to other people? How do we get the top price for our home? What are the taxes going to be once we sell our home? Does a 1031 strategy make sense to us? These are all content strategies where if you have really great answers to some of these questions and you can provide a lot of value in all the areas, like a content strategy for home sellers. And let's say, I just took a call not that long ago from Hilton Head, South Carolina. All right, Hilton Head is a very specific kind of like peninsula, oceanside-based community. And a content strategy with them would be a lot about protecting the home from storms, and are the homes insurable, and what do you need to know as a homeowner, and are people still moving in? Basically addressing concerns that relate to both climate change and Hilton Head specifically. And answering those questions as part of your content strategy will give the residents of Hilton Head answers to prepare for people that they might be trying to sell the home themselves. They might be handing it off to the next generation. There's so many different variables. If you talk about them and become the go-to consultant that is a real estate professional, even though they're a person that lives on the island and may not be ready to sell ever, they may be thinking of sending their home down to which is really common on Hilton Head, like sending the home to the next generation. Well, you want to become the person that they want to ask their questions to, because that cues you up for the best opportunity to be the person that they go to should the home ever get sold. You always want to adopt, in rarefied markets, the content strategy is always adopt everybody. Make sure that you are the person that every single person calls. Doesn't matter if they don't sell the home. If the home is worth $5 million and only one person out of every 10 ever sells, then what you want to do is be the person that all 10 of those people call with questions and give them their answers for free, because that 1 in 10 person is going to be a $300,000 commission. You don't need to do that many sales to make a really healthy living, and you become what I think many, many, many real estate professionals would like to become, which is a real estate consultant, where you really legitimately answer important questions for people all year round, and every once in a while you make a really nice sale. All right. This is the #1 strategy I've been talking about and focused on. If you're a follower of the channel, you already know that. Google Business Profiles, also known as GMB, Google My Business, because they changed the name, and now they're integrating it with Google Maps. So there's lots of names surrounding this, but Google has a way to list your business on Google for their local stuff. If you have ever looked up a restaurant on your cell phone, you've used Google. Okay? This particular form of search, #1, a lot of people aren't aware of the fact that Google Business Profiles generate about 50% of the calls that come in are from people who actually own homes. In other words, sellers. It's not exclusively sellers. There are some buyers in there too, but I would say that the handful of calls that come in to Google Business Profiles lean on the seller side, which is why it's listed here and why I've been focusing on it. Plus the fact that Google has managed to send 500% more traffic over the last 5 years to Google Business Profiles. So it's an increasing marketing channel. And the fact that most people, the lead quality from these profiles tends to be 10 to 15 times better than almost any seller profile lead that you'll get. And I mean, the closing ratio is astoundingly high. Even for inexperienced agents, usually it's like a 20 to 25% closing ratio. For experienced agents, it's more like 50. So it's an extremely high closing ratio across my database, at least, which is about 100 accounts doing this. Okay, and then last but not least, it won't be impacted in the future. It's not going to be impacted by AI. If anything, the traffic and attention being paid to these profiles is going to raise itself. Now, there is a whole series of things that you need to do in order to rank these profiles and have a shot at actually doing this. Or you can call us and schedule an appointment. We'll do it for you. But one way or the other, this is not we're not doing a Google Business Profile video. We're just saying this is one of our strategies. You want to switch from a buyers to sellers lead strategy? I go here. Absolutely, as a cornerstone of that strategy. Another way, email. Have you been in business for 10, 15 years? Do you have 1,000 people that you should? Most of you don't, but many of you do. Some of you do. And with email, like the reason that we collect email addresses, the reason we collect information from our customers or people that we talk to that are prospects is, like all marketing these days, is really a circle of influence kind of thing. And digital allows us to have a bigger circle of influence with less work, as long as we're focused on creating a circle of influence, which if you want some decent revenue, you're going to do that. Well, whether you do or don't have emails, if you can get emails or generate emails, email is a fantastic way to turn your interest from buyers to sellers, because you can simply start talking about seller subjects, especially if you're emailing to past clients. Start talking to them about things they can do to improve the value of the home, top 10 things they can do to waterproof their home. Just take a local thing that interests you. If you're a condo salesperson, talk about the idea of banding together and negotiating for condo payment, like homeowners association rights and rates and things of that nature. Every single time, there is always something that you can send out in an email to an existing audience that will show value to them, improve their lives. And the minute you find the right note with those emails where you're helping and people are starting to respond or saying, great tip, thank you, guess what? You've done an incredible job at switching from a buyer's rep to a seller's rep, because the people that you sold to 5 years ago, guess what? They will want to move, and now they become a seller whose business that you could get. Direct mail, often maligned, not talked about nearly enough. Still a declining strategy slightly. However, if you match a direct mail campaign in conjunction with digital, still highly effective. That's what people don't realize. These days, the most successful campaigns and even tried and true marketing channels are really like multimedia channel efforts. QR codes and things like that. Most of you as real estate agents have heard of this stuff. We want to connect that into direct mail. Like a QR code right on the direct mail that sends somebody to, let's say, your Google business profile or something like that. A direct mail campaign looking for sellers to establish value or and when you're doing direct mail, it's a short and sweet pitch with like a really attainable result. There is the idea of providing, listen, every time I see what real estate agents do to qualify as a home appraisal process, I'm usually horrified. If I was a sales rep and I had a client that was even remotely interested, and this is because my history is with in-home sales. I got my career started in doing in-home sales, selling security systems door-to-door for ADT. That was my very first sales gig ever. I was like 18. Well, actually, that's not true. I sold perfume hand-to-hand on the street. I forgot about that one. But my second official sales gig that was big, that was for AT&T, was doing door-to-door and in-home sales. And one of the things that they all, like, I can tell you for sure, the sale is made when you get in person. So when you have somebody that's talking to you about an appraisal for your home, don't rely on these digital tools if you're doing direct mail. Send somebody to a profile, get them to call you, set an appointment, come out and do the appraisal in person. Because if you manage to do that, your odds of closing the deal or figuring out, like turning them into a proper prospect with a timeline to when they might want to sell is something like 80% better. Like, it's staggeringly high. So direct mail combined with multimedia and a direct sales action will allow you to convert from a buyer's to seller's lead generation strategy. Anyway, that's what I got. I hope you appreciate it. If you do, thumbs up, leave me a comment, and I'll see you next time.